Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Friday night Q&A, question and answers. We're gonna be dealing with later on is first of all, I had left. Gave you a little research project on Antioch Epiphany, so to go along with that, make everything flow and stick. I'm doing Daniel 7 and 8. I'm gonna go through that. So with that being said, I was gonna ask everybody to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. And if you feel the need to support Prophets of Awakening, it would be greatly appreciated. All right. This is a non-Messianic channel, Tanakh and Torah. Tanakh is for the Old Testament, and the Torah is 35 books of the Bible that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai by the Lord of Hosts. So shalom and welcome to everybody. I'm going to do our moment of silence in regards to the Lord of Hosts and our Creator and all that they're doing as we speak, orchestrating our soon deliverance from our captors, oppressors. Okay? We're going to do a prayer, Psalms, and then do the current events. Oh Lord, we come before thee at this time that you have set aside for us at the beginning of your Sabbath day, that you have given unto us for rest. We are thankful for the knowledge and the understanding that you have given us up until this point. We seek thy face on the Sabbath, that you shower us with peace and enlightenment and a sense of togetherness, and that you help us in connecting these dots. Oh Lord, we see thy hand in the affairs of the world, and we know and understand that what you have spoken in the past, it will surely come to pass. Turn not thy face from us, but hearken unto this plea. Hearken, O Lord, and do. All praises unto you. Okay. Read the song right quick. Go into it. Okay, I'm going to read Psalm 31. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. It's a Psalm of David. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Bow down thine ear to me. Deliver me speedily. Be thou my strong rock, for the house of defense to save me. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for thy name's sake, lead me and guide me. Pull me out of the net that they have laid previously for me, for thou art my strength. Into thine hands I commit my spirit. Thou hast redeemed me, O Lord, God of truth. Read that verse again. In thy hand I commit my spirit. Thou hast redeemed me, O Lord, God of truth. I have hated them that regard thy vanities, but I trust in the Lord. I will be glad and rejoice in thy mercy, for thou hast considered my trouble. Thou hast known my soul in adversities, and hast not shut me up in the hands of the enemy. Thou hast set my feet in a large place. Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am in trouble. Mine eyes is consumed with grief, yea, my soul and my belly. For my life is spent with grief, and my years with sighing. My strength faileth because of my iniquities, and my bones are consumed. I was a reproach among all mine enemies, but especially among my neighbors, and a fear of mine acquaintance. They that did see me without fled from me. I am forgotten as a dead man out of mind. I am like a broken vessel. For I have heard the slander of many. Fear was on every side, while they took counsel together against me. They devised to take away my life. But I trusted in thee, O Lord. I said, thou art my God. My times are in thy hand. Deliver me from the hands of my enemies and from them that persecute me. Make thy face to shine upon thy servant. Save me for thy mercy's sake. Let me not be ashamed, O Lord, for I have called upon thee. Let the wicked be ashamed, and let them be silent in the grave, and let the lying lips be put to silence who speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. Oh, how great is thy goodness, which thou hast laid up for them that fear thee, which thou hast wrought for them that trust in thee before the sons of men. Thou hast hid them in the secrets of thy presence from the pride of man. Thou shalt keep them secretly in the pavilion from the strife of tongues. Blessed be the Lord, for he hath showed me his marvelous kindness in a strong city. For I am in my haste. I am cut off from before thine eyes. Nevertheless, thou heardest the voice of my supplication when I cried unto thee. O Lord, O love the Lord, all ye saints, for the Lord preserveth the faithful, and plentifully rewardeth the proud doer. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all ye that hope in the Lord. Okay, that was Psalms 31. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Okay, so we got current events. Anybody got any current events they want to bring up? Shalom, brother. Nobody have a current event? Okay, get your gunner bags ready. Okay, I'm gonna start it off. I kind of got a little blast from the past right here. I'm gonna show you this first, and then I'm gonna remind you of why I'm showing it to you. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I thought he was dead, me, but evidently he ain't. See that? Who is that? Anybody know who that is?
Is that Jesse Jackson, McCoy?
That's just like a blue. He crawled up out of nowhere. It says Emmanuel Macron calls Jesse Jackson a brother to us as he awards him France's Legion of Honor medal. See that? Or you say, what the hell? What's going on? All of a sudden they dug him up. So you already know that Macron, France had, go back to the Berlin Conference when they called Africa up. They had a stronghold on West Africa and Ghana in that area over there. So they taking all their forces out and leaving, because Illuminati bankers and told them, we got something else going on. It's time for y'all to, it's time to back out of there. So you said, like I said, why you figure I'm showing you this? Let me read a little bit of it. It says, French President Emmanuel Macron made American civil rights leader Jesse Jackson the commander of the Legion of Honor, France's highest award for helping change the destiny of the United States and with it the world. Jackson, 79, who had a gallbladder surgery this year, is being treated for Parkinson's disease, had visible difficulties walking. The founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition and two-time U.S. presidential candidate sat beside the podium as Macron spoke at the ceremony in Paris, right? So you say, what are you talking about? Well, let's look at this. Okay, any comments? Okay. I showed you this every now and then. I bring it back, bring to your memories. But here we go again.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Obama's going to take away your citizenship. Obama's going to take away the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment of the Constitution, and he's going to send you and all other black people. Obama with Bill Gates and with Bill Clinton are going to send you and all other black people to either two places. You can stay here in the Western Hemisphere, and he's going to send you to Haiti, but he's going to round y'all up from South Central Los Angeles. He's going to round y'all up from the the mega churches down in Dallas. He's going to round y'all up from the mega churches in Atlanta. He's going to round y'all up from New York, from Chicago, and he's going to send y'all back to Africa. That's right. Bill Gates wants y'all out of America. Mark Zuckerberg wants y'all out of America. George Soros wants y'all out of America. And I want to tell you something, my friends. And not too many years from now, Black people are going to be sent back to Africa. Something that many say should have been done shortly after the Civil War. Well, Obama is going to be the one that put the policy in place, destroy the effectiveness of the Constitution, take over all your resources and your property, the National Defense Authorization Act, and anybody can be arrested. What that means is this: all Black people are going to be arrested and going to be sent back to the West Coast or to the Sahara in Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, and there'll be nothing you can do about it. You'll have no constitution to call upon. No lawyer can defend you. There'll be no congressman, nor senator, nor judge that will hear your case. You run around here, Bishop Jackson, with Jesse and Al and all these cross-dressers, all of these transvestites, all of these race baiters and race slicksters and hustlers. You run around here and you let the devil get on the throne of the White House. And now in not too many years, you go read the National Defense Resource Act. Obama owns all property. You read the National Defense Authorization Act. Anybody can be arrested, picked up at any time, and sent to any country. And that is not for white people. It's for Black people. They're going to send you back to Africa, and it will solve America's economic problems. It'll solve America's crime problems. It will solve America's industrial problems. He's going to send you Black people back to Africa. The National Defense Authorization Act, the destruction of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment of the Constitution. Obama is the son of Satan. I repeat, get down on your knees. Don't lead a press conference to rebuke Obama, but call Black preachers and Black churches down. You better hear me. You better hear me. You better hear what I have to say.
Here we go, right here.
You will be within the next 5 years on the west coast of Africa, meeting with your ancestors that sold you more than 300 years ago. You're going back to Africa. Black preacher, you Black liars, you're going back to Africa. And T.D. Jakes is going to.
Here we go.
You're going back to Africa. What Obama's going to do? He's already getting FEMA. He's already getting major transports. And he's already getting FEMA ready to deal with rounding up Black people and sending you back to Africa. The son of Satan. Pray. Put on sackcloth and ashes. Pray. And ask God to forgive you. And then maybe you'll hear what I have to say. Maybe we can stay in America. Maybe. But the die is already cast. The deal is already in place.
Here we go.
He's going to round all your Black people up. He's going to round all of you up. You can run to the mountains and try to hide in the mountains if you can. And pray that your flight be not in winter. And woe unto them that give suck during the days when Obama starts rounding up Black people and sending them back to Africa under the National Defense Authorization Act. He'll give you money. And Bishop T.D. Jakes will be your president.
Okay.
And Al Sharpton will be the president. And Jackson and others will be president of various countries. But you're going back to Africa.
Come on.
5 years from now, South Central Los Angeles will be bereft and swept clean of all Black people. Chicago, swept clean of Black people. You're going back. He's the son of Satan. And I'm James.
Okay. Any comments? Any comments?
Okay. I think Biden gonna be the one. It may not be Obama, but it's going down soon. He may be a little off on some things, but
Well,
he's
yeah,
also
that's how they do it. That's how they do it. They
right.
you know, they let you thinking, you know, the man off, he told, but we see it. Everything he just said manifesting itself.
Yes, it is.
Right. So on little tidbit of information, you go watch based on that, go watch King Alpha playing. King Alpha playing. Go watch that. And
Who's playing?
King Alpha. King Alpha playing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Check that out.
Rex 84.
Yeah. King Alpha playing Rex 84. They've been walking the dog with that forever, and they got you throwing everybody off. The ones that's zeroed in on it, they throwing off the time frame because of people catching hold of what's going on. But everything he's saying, he walking the dog with it. He just told you, Bill Gates wants out of America, but who behind the gangster? Okay, so let's look at it. Got something else right here. Yeah, this is some got to do with Africa. I'm trying to keep everybody tuned in on Africa, so I'm gonna play this. We'll talk about it.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why a lot of so-called Black people are leaving God, as the world calls him, and going back to Africa. Now, for some reason, a lot of people, not all, okay, not everyone who goes back to Africa believes that they're going there to find God, as the world calls him, okay, or a God. Because there are those who are actually leaving God or the Creator because of what they learned from white culture through Christianity. Christianity was not and should not be the culture of Black people. And because we were given the Bible by so-called white people, or so we thought, a lot of people are abandoning the whole concept of the Bible, the whole concept of the Most High, God, as the world calls him, and they are going back to Africa and they are seeking spirituality. Now, this is not the first time we have talked about this on this channel. We've talked about.
Okay, you see what's going on, right? Anybody see what's going on?
The fact that a lot of Black people are seeking different forms of religion, and they are going back to religions of our ancestors, voodoo and ancestral worship, and just all kinds of other religions that you will find on the continent of Africa, and even some down in areas like Haiti, all kinds of things, even witchcraft, right? They are abandoning what the world refers to as God in search of something else because of the leaven that has been placed into the scripture by European nations, not realizing that much of our history was stolen, including the Bible, and it was recirculated with a different face, right? And so, what are we doing here? Are we abandoning our own history because of the whitewashing of this history and seeking after other religions or other beliefs because we are just too bothered? And I understand it. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't understand it, because I fully understand why a person who doesn't have all of the information would say, you know what, I'm just not going to believe in this stuff anymore, because through Christianity we learned that Jesus was white, And of course, those of you who follow this channel and have followed this channel for any length of time know that I also believe that Jesus was white, right? But the flip side of that is I believe that Jesus is the creation of white people, and he is not the son of the Most High Yah. He's not the son of the Creator. Jesus was created by those who got in the book, they laid over the book of the law and thought to change the images of the real historical people into the likeness of their own images. So Jesus is just one of those, right? The real son of Yah's name is Yahusha, right? Not Jesus. So they gave him a new name and a new face, a whole new identity, and then they passed him out to the world. And so now you have so-called black people say, you know what, I don't want any of this. I don't want to believe any of it because there is so much leaven, so much deception, and so many lies within the pages of the Bible that have been placed there by Europeans that some people just don't want to believe any of it. But see, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We have to understand that, look, just like everything else, just like they took Egyptian history, in which we know the Egyptians were black people, is all over the walls of Egypt, all over the walls. But what do they present to us? They give us a whitewashed version when they do the movies. But we don't say that all the Egyptians never existed, or all of the stuff that we see over in Egypt today aren't real because white people repainted the historical black Egyptians into the likeness of their own images. We don't disregard Egyptian history. And so we shouldn't do the same with our own history. The Bible represents, and get this, we understand that in ancient times it was not referred to as the Bible. What we have been given is our ancient text chopped up into two testaments, old and new, with repainted faces, rebranded names. Matthew wasn't Matthew. Mark, Luke, John. We've gotten all of these new names, all of these new faces portrayed in movies. And certain texts have been altered, if you know what I mean. And so that brings about a massive confusion for the whole world. And so imagine that being your history book, but all of your people are no longer here to tell you the truth about it. And so you're looking at this book that when you look at where everything was located in the Bible, most of it was in the regions of Africa and Northern Africa. And so why all of a sudden did Africa and Northern Africa become white European history? Because someone penciled in some lies. We cannot throw out our history and our culture because someone who has deceived the whole world with whitewashing history, we can't throw out our own history because of that. When you look at the ancient Chinese or the Asians period, they were black as well. I'm not saying this because I want people to get upset or angry. I'm just giving you historical facts. The ancient Asian people, in which black Asians still exist, but the ancient Asian people were black as well. Now, what amazes me today is you will have a black man who will go and marry a white Asian woman. And when I say white, I'm talking about a lighter skinned Asian woman. And people say, oh, they're mixed with black and Asian. And so look at the children. The children are so beautiful. Really what's happening, y'all, is a black man has mixed back into a mixed race people because the original Asians are still black. Just because something or someone has been whitewashed, the culture has been whitewashed, doesn't mean that they replace the original people. And so the media has painted this picture to make it seem as though these cultures originated the way that they are. I remember there was one Asian guy. He set out to prove that they existed or they came about of themselves and that they were not connected to the whole everyone originated in Africa theory. He set out to prove that. And what he found in his research, he found that his roots traced back to Africa. And so this is the reason why a lot of so-called black people say, well, I got to go back to where it all began. But they are abandoning the whole idea or the concept of God, okay? His name wasn't God, y'all. That is part of the confusion. Why would the creator of heaven and earth and the universe and everything that exists, why would he call himself dog backwards? See.
Okay. Any comments so far?
No, just listening with a Hebrew ear.
Okay. So I asked the question earlier. Did anybody see anything wrong?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Example, she's talking about both books.
Right. That's one of them.
Right, and she's saying that JC is not white.
Right. Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. And then let me read something right quick. Remind everybody of hold on, let me see. Somebody came in, I think. Okay. Okay.
Brother Leonard, how do you feel about her trying to say, because we know we've been doing the separation of the blood lineages between Ham, Shem, and Japhet. And we know that Japhet mixed his races with Esau and the Ishmaelites and all these other people when you are thinking like a Hebrew. Now, with her trying to say that, because I did just happen to watch a video today about how they've been mixing with our people and then trying to wash out the melanin by going and, mixing with our people and then continue on with their people, but our DNA is still inside of them. But how do you feel about her saying that Chinese people are actually black? Now, I have seen darker melanated, if they will call them Afro-Asiatic people. We do know that our people was spread out to all four corners of the earth, but how, I'm just a little, I guess, confused about the genealogy that she's trying to say.
Well, everybody originally started out black, and then they intermingle with the European people, and that's how they got the complexion they got now. What she's saying, but it's people over there right now that look just like them, but they black, they dark skinned, and that's the original people. And so when the Europeans came from over there, and in Europe and all the area, and came to the Middle East, it's a tactic that they have. They're gonna rape all the women, and to try to wipe out that original culture there. They're gonna wipe it out like they did in the slave ship. By the time the women got over here off the slave ship, predominantly most of them was pregnant. They were raping. And that's how now that's why you have the different shades that now, because they came in, and even the conquistadors, and they went over to the with the Mayans and all that. They came in. They that's a tactic. Like I said, they came in, raped the women, and to change the complexity of the population. So that's what they did. That's what happened to the Chinese. That's the reason they look like they look now. But originally they was of a darker hue. So like she was saying earlier, I mean, they got a good, they put out a lot of information and all that, but it's not, you can't. The problem is not that JC was black and they changing white. The whole concept of JC is the problem. Y'all ain't got no son. He ain't no bosom nowhere. So that's where the problem come in. Then this is what I want to read right here. It says, Okay. He says right here, two verses I want to read, but two different places in the Bible. I'm in Isaiah 44, verses 44, 1 through 5. He says, this is a prophecy that's ongoing right now, happening. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jezreel, whom I have chosen, for I will pour water upon him that is thirsty. Not all of them, not all Israel. Him that is thirsty, the ones that got zeal, and eyes to see and ears to hear. He says that's thirsty, right? And floods upon dry ground. I'll pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessings upon thine offspring, and then they shall spring up, wake up, spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourse. Then 5, one shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself the name of Israel. So that's the prophecy. We looking at that. It's all over the internet. So that's happening. So the other one, and these two scriptures, these two prophecies, is connected at the hip. You can't deal with one without the other one. So now I'm in Jeremiah. They're not getting running out of the church and going to Africa because they going there to keep African spiritualism. 29, verse 14. It's another prophecy that's manifesting itself right now. Then I will be found of you. He hid himself from us. That killed JC. He said he hid himself from us 2,500 years ago. So who is JC? They come out in the open, laying hands on people when he hid his face from us. So that killed that concept. So 14 says, and I will be found of you, said the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places where I have driven you, said the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place which I have caused you to be carried away from. Yeah. You was carried away from the west coast of Africa. Yeah. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Mm. So we waking up and we going back to where he caused us to be carried away from. That's what's happening. Waking up, surnaming ourselves by the name of Israel, and we returning. Trickling back over to the west coast of Africa. That's where they got us from. So when he's not, and like I said before, he said he's gonna pour his spirit out on not everybody, but the ones that's thirsty, and the ones that's got the zeal for the Most High, the zeal to understand what's going on, and Israelite spirit is on them, right? So that's what's going on. So let's look at one more thing, because this ain't nothing new under the sun. You have to understand where you fit in all this drama that's going on. You got to fit, realize where you fit in at. So I'm in Ezekiel. Most High had in the very beginning, he had 7 angels. He had no sun hid in the bush. He had 7 angels he was dealing with in the very beginning. So I'm in Ezekiel, right? And it says, let me get it. Okay, Ezekiel chapter 9, right? On Ezekiel chapter 9, I mentioned that he, in the very beginning, from day 1, Most High had these 7 angels he formed. And that's who was there in the beginning. The Elohim, the 7. So it says, he cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw nigh, every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. So who in charge of Jerusalem, right? 2, and behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, every man with a slaughter weapon in his hand, and 1 man out of them was clothed in linen, which had a writer's ink on by his side, and they went in, stood by the brazen altar. So we go to 7. We go to 7 right here. That's who in charge of Jerusalem, in the midst of the city, just like the Lord of hosts was in the midst of the garden. So 3, and the glory of the Lord God of Israel was gone up from the cherubim whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. So he just mentioned that they had destroying weapons in their hand. What they going to do with these destroying weapons? And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed in linen, which had the right of ink upon his by his side, Lord of hosts, Michael, in case you want to know. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads. Look at this. The foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that are done in the midst of the city. Same thing we just read over there in Isaiah. He said, he's going to pour his spirit out upon them that is thirsty, that's got zeal. Not all of them, right? So, 5. So, then he says, set a mark upon the ones that sigh and cry for the abominations that are done in the midst thereof. Then 5. And the others, he said, the other 6, they got their favorite weapon in their hand. The other, he said, unto mine hearing, go after him through the city and smite. Let not your ears, your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. You ain't fumbling with him. You that? You ain't pour the spirit out on it, you ain't reacting to it. You still over there shining on your rims and wiping on your car and all that. You ain't your spirit ain't been affected by him pouring out his. So you got to go.
Right.
So it ain't nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing. He said follow the old paths. Okay. So anyway, so I just wanted to break that down. So anybody else got anything on that? I'm gonna play a little more, then we're gonna move on. Yeah, they ain't just happen to be all of a sudden out the blue start going back to the west coast of Africa. It's part of the Most High. He's pouring his spirit out on them. Okay, let me get over here.
These confusing words, names, and terminology used in the Bible is why a lot of people are abandoning the Bible. But we cannot, like I said before, we cannot throw out the baby with the bathwater. That is historical text that belonged to a people, and it has been whitewashed. It is what it is. And those who look like those who whitewash the Bible, they get offended when you want to set the record straight and tell things like they were and like it is. It is what it is, y'all. History, science will even show you that the first people on the planet had to have been Black people. It is impossible.
Right, that's true. So you want to watch the rest of that is why are Black people leaving God and going back to Africa? So you want to check it out. It's redirected. Let me get back over here. Get some. I think I got one more. And we're gonna deal with Antioch Epiphanes. See what everybody found out about it. Okay. Here we go.
Understand something, right? Why is it that everything around us is so artificial? I've talked about this a lot of times, and I ran across something that made me spark this idea to give y'all this video because, like I say, when I get that urge to talk about something, I just have to go with it. Everything around you is artificial. I've told y'all this. Why? Because you're living in the matrix. You're living in a fake ass reality, fake world. Back in the days, people used to pray for rain so that crops can grow. That what made them happy. Not today. People get that type of enjoyment and more just off social media. But what I want to bring to y'all attention, I had to write this down and take notes because this is very important. I want y'all to understand something, right? Everything around us that's fake because you're living in a fake world and they want you to be to massage the idea in your mind that you are a cyborg. You don't know what a cyborg is? That means you operating half human and half computer, which we do every day. Your phone make you a cyborg. because you use your phone to do everyday things. Now they moving from this. Now they want you to physically become part machine, which I've shown y'all. Well, they got surgeries where your ass gonna have like you see on the movies. Oh yeah, the Terminator was real. Your ass gonna have a arm that's electronic. They already doing that. Leg, they already doing that. But what you don't understand is all this that's going on. They trying to get you to go get. You know, people lining up to go get. And once you go get that, your ass is a walking Wi-Fi. And this is how they gonna connect you to the grid. Please pay attention, because this shit can get real deep, very deep. Now listen, I want y'all to understand something, right? Everything around you is artificial. Your food. Monsanto gave you artificial, genetically engineered seeds. You can't even grow nothing natural. And I told y'all about the organic seed vault that they got stored. Why do they got organic seeds stored, but they giving us fake seeds? This is the cancer. This is all this other stuff. This all gonna make sense. And this is why they want you to run out and get the you know what. Y'all doing it. I ain't gonna say y'all, but a lot of people doing it out of fear. I can't blame you, but you got to use common sense. Again, I'm gonna show you some of the things. I had to write this down. Some of the things that are fake. Some food, fake ass hamburger. You go to Burger King, what you get? The fake Whopper. I forgot what it's called. Y'all know what it is, man. The fake Whopper, what they call it. That's fake ass hamburger meat, genetically modified hamburger meat, fish, fake. You know what I'm saying? They're giving you fake fish. They're cloning and giving you fake food, chicken. What else? Cheese, fake cheese, sodas. Sodas, I told y'all got artificial flavors. You drink a strawberry soda, everything in that bitch but strawberry because it's artificially flavored, and they've mastered that. Okay. Another thing, all type of drinks, same thing. Also, when it comes to food coloring, do you understand they put wax like duck wax on apples, cherries to give it that shine? Well, y'all thought it was really red like that? Hell no, that is fake coloring. All these things causes cancer and all type of different complications. Keep telling y'all, they get you with the eye. If it looks good, you think that is good. I told you, your body is an instrument of your mind. If they can trick your mind, everything else is coming. They get this from duck feathers. Okay, look it up. And if you look at a duck, if you got ducks around you and they go underwater, as soon as they come up, they got repellent on that wax, and the water just rolls right off as if they ain't never been wet. Now they got some birds that spread their wings and sit in the sun and dry. But anyway, let's get back to it. Genetically modified plants. All that you see in the store, seedless watermelon. Who the hell want to eat seedless fruit? Fruits bear themselves from falling off the tree down to the ground and replanting themselves. And some blow like pollen. It blows with the wind, and the wind spreads it across other areas naturally. I keep telling y'all, man, y'all gonna wake up after I do eat through with your ass. Now listen, like I said, I had to write this stuff down. It's a lot. Not a lot of engineered plants. They're giving us genetically engineered foods. Okay, from watermelons, oranges, you name it. We used to get stuff seasonally, okay? But these greedy motherfuckers don't care. You want watermelons in a certain part of the year, watermelons don't grow, or whatever fruit don't grow, we got it for you. Even though they may be a little small, like you see some of the small ass watermelons, or you see just deformed fruits, they bitter as hell. If you ain't ate an orange in the 80s, you ain't never had an orange. When I was a young boy, oranges used to be nice and sweet. Now it's bitter as hell. Even the bananas. Bananas only get about this big and they're more cubical, not them long ass bananas that they spread and shoot all them pesticides in. No. Anyway, let's get back to it. Also, when it comes to women, our women are artificial. Okay, don't get mad at me. I'm on y'all side, but I'm just showing you how the world is. If you look at commercials from the 80s and 90s, it wasn't all about the big boobs and big butts. It wasn't. Now, you got big butts, big tits, lips, fingernails, eyelashes, hair. Even the guys. The guys got fake hair. Some of the guys getting their butt done. No, none of that. But I'm just being real. I'm just showing you how artificial things are, and it's widely accepted. And I'm gonna tell y'all why at the end. Okay? Another thing is this, right? They got artificial cigarettes, electronic cigarettes. They got fake everything, artificial everything around you, and we just accept it. They got artificial for JJs. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. So you can understand where I'm coming from with this. Everything is artificial. No one ever thought about it. Okay? Everything I just named is around you at some point in time and in your house. Okay? Also, they got fake dogs. You seen the robotic dog? Have you seen it? They got fake animals. And they always have a reason so that we can accept it. Oh, this dog gonna do this, or this gonna do that, or that. Man, damn that. Everything will be weaponized. Remember that. Remember that. Everything has a positive and negative. You can't escape harmony. You get what I'm saying? The same thing that can help you is the same thing that can kill you. You just gotta look at it like that. Now, what they basically doing is we're moving from being human, right? We're moving more and more from being human or natural to being a cyborg. So, and this goes with this too. All the aid apps that have voice recognition or speaks to you, whether it's on the phone, whether it's at the ATM machine, they all have a what? A computerized voice. Hey, how are you doing today? They speaking in a computerized voice. Like it's 2021. Y'all can have somebody on them speaking more natural, like I'm speaking right now, but they don't. Everything is computerized, and this shit all beats in your head. Okay, with cognitive dissonance. This is what this is. Something that's over and over. Cognitive dissonance is basically saying if you see or hear something over and over and over and over and over and over and over, it becomes truth. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you have to understand where I'm coming from. Cognitive dissonance is real. Every time you hear that computer voice speaking to you, whether it's please hold one moment. Like they do this shit on purpose. We're moving into like what the Jetsons is. You thought the Jetsons was just a cartoon? Hell no. Look at all the stuff that's on the Jetsons. Now it's here. Damn near. It's beside the cars that's flying. That's coming. Now they got man. What I do? I can't wait till tomorrow to do this right now. Like I said, think about it, man. Everything around you is artificial, man. The way you feel about things, this whole world is artificial, man. Start doing research on things. Start getting out in the world, man. Start walking in the backyard barefooted. Get in tune to nature. Disconnect, man, from all this, this crap.
Okay. Any comment?
He's right on point with all these women and guys getting all of these fake body parts and all of this other stuff.
Right.
It's just a matter of time.
Right. Right.
They have a university that specializes in robots and all of that stuff. I'm gonna see if I can find that video and share it, but that is all that university does. So it's not good.
Right. Right. Like I said, they get us at 3 and 4 years old, Head Start, all the way to 12th grade. So there's something. Need to break out of that. Okay. So while we at we're gonna do a little. I'm gonna open it up for some questions and comments. Anybody got any questions or comments from anything while they was doing the week or whatever, something they was studying or whatever?
I do.
Okay, what you got?
When we read in what is it? Genesis,
Okay.
where Jacob wrestles with the Michael. I thought wrestles with Michael. I think in Genesis 32.
Right.
Well, in Jubilees, I was reading. If you could read chapter 32, 16 through 29, it really goes into detail about, like our name change and everything. I thought that was pretty dope.
That's
I
the
don't know if
Jubilee.
anybody else heard the story.
That's the Jubilee.
Jubilees,
Okay.
Jubilees chapter 32, verse 16 through 29.
Let me see if I can find my Jubilee. Okay. Let's see. Can you read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Jubilees, chapter 32, starting at verse 16.
Okay.
And on the following night, on the 22nd day of this month, Jacob resolved to build that place and to surround the court with the wall and to sanctify it and make it holy forever for himself and his children after him. And the Lord appeared to him by the night and
Okay.
blessed him and said unto him, Thy name shall not be called Jacob, but Israel they shall they name thy name.
Okay.
And he said unto him again, I am the Lord who created the heaven and the earth, and I shall increase thee and multiply thee exceedingly, and kings will come forth from thee, and they will judge everywhere, wherever the foot of the sons of men have trodden. And I shall give to thy seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they will judge all the nations according to their desires. And after that, they will get possession of the whole earth and inherit it forever. Bang. And he finished speaking with him, and he went up from him, and Jacob looked till he had ascended into heaven. And he saw in a vision of the night, and behold, an angel descended from heaven with 7 tablets in his hands, and he gave them to Jacob, and he read them, and he knew all that was written therein, which would befall him and his sons throughout all the ages. Okay, I never knew none of this.
Right. Exactly. Right. Right. Yeah. I see that.
Bang bang.
Right.
Bang, bang.
That's where the 12, the 12 patriarchs they have in I got a book where Jacob talked to all his sons. Isaac prophesied to all his sons and told them. Jacob prophesied to all 12 of his sons what was going to befall them in the latter days. It comes from right here. Where he got that information, he got right here on the tablets. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, you got the 12 patriarchs. They got a prophecy. I think it might be in the King James, but I know it's in a. I gotta go back and remember. But he's got 12. He called all his boys to him, and he told all of them what was going to befall them. What's going to happen to him? It tied to this. This is where he got the information from.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. That's something.
That is. That's something. I'm gonna check that out when I get off the phone.
Yeah, and he gave a special blessing to Levi and Jacob. And it's so beautiful.
Right.
You
Where
know,
is it?
that's also in Jubilees. Um, it starts in right, let's see. Starting at Jubilees 21, starting at chapter 12, he gives the spirit of prophecy comes down, and he starts, breaking it down. It's a good scripture. Good scriptures,
Right.
verse 12 through 23.
Right. That was on Levi, right?
Levi and Judah.
Right. Right. Prophecy. That's what was happening. What I was explaining in Daniel when Gabriel told him and Michael was looking on his book. So that's what that is. He telling they bring it to the priest, tell the priest, and the priest tell the people, and they telling them stuff what's going to happen in advance in the future.
Right.
That's all prophecy is.
Yeah, because Jacob, from reading this, the angels told Jacob everything that was gonna go down.
Right.
Everything.
Right. It makes you wonder how. I mean, if somebody keep doing it over again, how can you turn away from them? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They can give you information beforehand to keep you out of stuff. How can you, you know? But they was doing the most. That's how we ended up over here. Yeah. Ain't that something?
Man, ain't that something? And
Right.
one more thing. I was reading in Jubilees and I found out that Zubalan, what's his name? Zebulon and Dinah were twins.
Okay. They were?
Yeah, Leah had them both at the same time.
Okay.
But in the New Testament, I mean, the KJV, it says that Dinah was born after Zebulon, but not in Jubilees.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
And
Yeah,
I
it is.
think, not to interrupt, I think in another one of those books, when it comes to Zebulon and Dinah, one of the stories said that Dinah was supposed to be born unto Rebecca, and that she died. Who was it? Leah prayed, and they end up the Most High switched the babies. I don't know. It'd be so many different stories when it comes to the birth of these kids.
Okay. Right. It sounds like some druids. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else got any questions before we dive off into this Antioch Epiphany? Okay, see what they're talking about right here. It says, question: Old Testament prophets receive information from angels. New Testament, the Holy Spirit makes things known. Weird, yeah, it is weird. Let you know it's a dead cat on the line. Yeah. Anybody else got anything? Okay, so last Friday, I gave you everybody a little project to look up, find out some information on Antioch Epiphany. Uh, I'm curious to find out what some of y'all found out. Don't everybody speak at once.
Hey, I found out that he was the first one that came up with the gyms, the gymnasiums,
Okay.
the
Okay.
Greeks.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's what a gymnasium, like I said, is all about. It's a homosexual society. And the gym is where the older men came look at the little boys, find out which one he wanted to tutor, and that tutoring incorporated everything. So that's the whole purpose of the gym. Still the same purpose of the gym. We just thought, yeah. So anybody else find out some information on Antiochus?
He was dealing with the second book, second Maccabees, and the to help destroy the help. They did the third temple that they wasn't supposed to be doing. Him and his descendants.
Okay. What you mean by the third temple?
Well, when Zerubbabel had made the temple and they all got kicked out, and then remember we was discussing second Maccabees, because then I thought that that was Israel over there, but it was the Antioch Epiphanes and them. That was actually the ones that was the story was about, and I was crying for no reason.
Right. Right. When the Antioch Epiphany came, is when from what they done when they ran the Israelites out, they opened up the door for the Edomites to come in, and the temple that Herod built was the Edomite temple. It had nothing to do with Yahweh, and so they got you thinking that Herod built on top of the foundation of Solomon temple, but he didn't build on the foundation of Solomon temple. He built on top of the foundation of Zerubbabel temple that they tore down. Antioch Epiphany, Nebuchadnezzar tore down Solomon's temple. Then Zerubbabel and the Israelites came back from Babylon and rebuilt it. Zerubbabel temple. Antioch Epiphany destroyed Zerubbabel temple. That's what they took out the scriptures. And they took it out for a reason, because they synchronized. Obadiah tells you that that Esau. Let me go read it. Somebody might not have heard this before. So Obadiah, name but one chapter. I'm starting at verse 10, I think it is. Verse 10 says, "For thy violence," this is Lord host talking, "for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Thou shalt be cut off forever." Talking to Esau. "In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them." Right? So what they done did, I told you how they done did this. That's the reason these books ain't in order. They got you, they telling you when you go to seminary, they done hoodwink the pastors and all them. So they saying that this during the time of Nebuchadnezzar. This ain't the time of Nebuchadnezzar, and I'm gonna show you why. Verse 11. "In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces." They trying to tell you these are Chaldeans, right? "And foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them." They didn't cast no lots on Jerusalem during the time of Nebuchadnezzar. They ain't cast no Israelites there. Let me show you why. I'm in Nehemiah. Okay, let me get Nehemiah right quick. Okay. Hide from Nehemiah. So see right here, Nehemiah chapter 1 says, words of the Lord, the words of Nehemiah. It's from chapter 1, verse 1. "The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hilkiah, and it came to pass in the month of Chesan, in the 12th year, as I was in the Shushan in palace," that's here in Babylon, second beast, "that Hananiah, one of my brethren," this Nehemiah in Babylon, and Hananiah, one of his brethren, came from Jerusalem. "He and certain men of Judah that came from Jerusalem, and I asked them concerning the Israelites that had escaped." That's the ones that he left there. Yahweh is the righteous God, righteous Elohim. He'll always leave a remnant there. And so that's why they look back at Jerusalem and see. If it's a remnant there, they know he's going to bring them back. If there ain't no remnant there, that means he through with them. So that's why Nehemiah doing this. He says, "That Hananiah, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah from Jerusalem. I asked them concerning the Israelites that had escaped, which were left of the captivity." See, y'all always leave a remnant. "And concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left in the city, in the captivity, are there in the providence, are in great affliction and reproach. And the walls also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire." See, that's so it's Israelites there. So over here in Obadiah, ain't no Israelites, ain't no, they ain't cast no lots because it's Israelites there. So this when Antioch Epiphany came, and he destroyed Jerusalem. He destroyed Zerubbabel temple. Then Herod came and built on top of the foundation of Zerubbabel temple. And they don't want you to know that. So let's look at this right quick. I'm going to show you something else. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 3. "And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the providence." See that? The providence. See that? What providence? We just was dealing with Esther last night, and Artaxerxes told Esther to come out. He was celebrating. He had a big old feast because he said, "I got much wealth and I rule over 772 providences." See that? So we know now Jerusalem is one of the providences. So, like I said, Assyria is one of these providences. That's what the 10 tribes is. So Nebuchadnezzar when he came and took over from the Assyrians, The Syrian army, he didn't want to destroy the Syrian army. He took over Syria too. Well, the 10 tribes over there. So now let's look at it. Cyrus came and conquered Nebuchadnezzar, the Chaldeans. They originally had the 172 providences, and Cyrus came and took all that from them. That's including Judah and Benjamin, Levi that's in Israel, in Babylon, but the 10 tribes over in Assyria. Cyrus got control of all of them. So let's look at what he said. Ezra chapter 1, right quick. Like I say, some people on here probably ain't heard this, ain't seen it. Okay, so I'm in Ezra chapter 1, verse 1. In the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom. See that? 172 providences, the 10 tribes there with him. That's what Esther and them came from. Okay, part of them. Said, and put it also in writing. Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven, have given me all the kingdoms, see that? All the kingdoms of the earth, including the Syrians of the earth. And he hath charged me, build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judea. 3, who is there among you of all his people? He didn't say some of them, all of them, they all there. 12 tribes. See that? Yeah, so I just want to shine light on that since it presented itself. Okay, so get back over here to the lesson. So anybody else want to share what they got from Antioch Epiphanies?
Didn't he place a statue of Zeus in the temple, and that's when they started sacrificing pigs up on the altar?
Right. So let's look at that. Like I said, we're gonna make this plain because people want to avoid and act like they ain't hearing this information. So I'm in Daniel. Antioch Epiphanies, the Antichrist. Ain't no Antichrist coming, he already came. So chapter 20, Daniel 9:25. That's where we're gonna start at, because the Messiah in Daniel 9:25 is Zerubbabel. He came back and built the temple, and him and Joshua, the high priest, king and the high priest. King is anointed. That's all Messiah means. So he says, know therefore, understand that from the going forth of the commandment, I just read the commandment. Cyrus made the commandment. Say, look what it say. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment, Cyrus just made that in Ezra, chapter 1, to restore and build Jerusalem unto the Messiah. That's Zerubbabel, the prince. See, there's 2 princes right here. This one of them right here. The prince shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall. Nehemiah. The wall is in the book of Nehemiah. It ain't over there in Matthew. Okay, so it says the wall, even in troublesome times. 26, and after 62 weeks shall the Messiah be cut off. Zerubbabel was cut off after they got back and started building the temple. All of his neighbors around Moab, Ammon, all them was hating on them. They didn't want him to rebuild the temple because when the Israelites was Solomon them, David and ruled over them. They didn't want them to come back and build a temple. So they went back and told Darius that they building the temple again. So Darius went and looked in the archives of his previous people that before him, and he saw what Cyrus had made the proclamation. So, but he told him stop building. He cut him off until he found out what was going on. He looked in the archives. That's what they're saying. He was cut off. Messiah, Zerubbabel was cut off. So then after he found out, all this is in 2nd Ezra. They took it out of here. So he sent it back word and told them to start. They can continue building the temple. So he was cut off for 2 years. Then they started back. But it says that, but 26, but not for himself and the people of the prince. Here go the other prince. It's Antioch Epiphanes. It's the other prince. This is the reason I got you doing this study. So he said, the people of the prince that shall come, as Antiochus, shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end wars and desolations are determined. Now, they keep on telling you this Antichrist coming, and he's going to do something He's gonna make a covenant with Israel with week of years, 7 years. He's gonna make a 7-year treaty with them. But here you go, right here, 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. They go to week right here. You ain't got to go to Revelation looking for it. It's right here. Many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, 3.5 years, he shall cause the sacrifices, the oblations to cease. And for the overspreading of the abomination, he shall make it desolate. That's what you just said. That he put hogs and pigs and an image of Zeus in the temple. They Greeks. They worship Zeus. So this way right here. He says, for the overspreading of abomination, that's abominable. Sacrificing hogs and pigs on the altar is abominable. And bringing Zeus in there, another god. Yeah, our Elohim ain't going for that. He ain't going to bring nobody else over him. So it says, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. There it is right there. So you ain't got to go, you ain't looking for no Antichrist in the future. He already came right here and destroyed the temple. How you gonna come now and ain't no temple? Okay.
Brother Leonard.
Okay.
That's like the Christians, they say the 7-year tribulation. The Antichrist is gonna come, and it's gonna be first 3.5 years gonna be good, then all hell is gonna break loose the second 3.5 years.
Right. Exactly. But we gonna find all that out tonight. All this already happened. That's why I did the research on Antiochus Epiphanes. So anybody else got anything they found out about Antiochus?
So he's the one that caused the abomination of what the Christ desolation.
He the one called the abomination and make it desolate.
Because the Christian book, and they talk about when you shall see the abomination,
right,
stand in the holy place,
right.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that abomination? What Michelle just said, they put Zeus in there. All that thing already happened. So let me read it. Because let me read that right quick. I'm in Maccabees. I'm gonna read some of it. Like I said, I ain't write it. Apocryphal been here. I ain't, but I'm in my 50s. I ain't write it. So it says, let me get it. All right. It says it was prophesied about in the King James over in Daniel, but it didn't come to pass because they took it out. It's over here. It said it came to pass right here. It came to pass what Daniel said. Came to pass after Alexander of Macedon, son of Philip, who came from the land of Checham, had utterly defeated Darius. There goes Darius, king of the Medes and Persians, second beast, and he reigned in his stead. As he had reigned over Greece. See that? And he waged many wars, captured fortresses, slaughtered many kings, and he made his way to the ends of the earth and despoiled many nations. Right? Then it says, his servants succeeded him, each in his own dominion after his death, and they all put on crowns and did as did their sons after them for many years. And they did much evil on the earth. They're doing much evil because that's Cain's descendants. That's why they're doing so much. That's why they wicked as hell. There sprang from them a sinful shoot named Antiochus Epiphanes. Look at this. The son of King Antiochus. So if he's the son of King Antiochus, what that make him?
Prince.
I just read over there. It says and the prince that shall come shall cause the abomination and make it dead. There it is. That's a prince right there. See that? And he had been a hostage in Rome. See that? And he became a king in the 137th year of the Greek kingdom. See that? Greek kingdom. This is when the Israelites got ran out during the Greek kingdom. Then look at here. Let us go and make a treaty. You go to treaty. You ain't got to go to Revelations. See that? And let us go and make a treaty with the heathens round about us. For ever since the time that we became separated from them, many misfortunes have overtaken us. And the plan, it's the 7-year treaty. The plan seemed good in their eyes, just to the Israelites. And some of them, some of the people went eagerly to the king and he authorized them to introduce practices, see that, of the heathen, and they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem. See, they don't tell you all this, and this is what somebody just mentioned. He was the first one to build a gymnasium. So the one with JC came down, walking down with the cross, there was a gymnasium on the side of it. But they working the camera where you can't see the gymnasium. All you see is the temple. When you're turning over the tables and all that, it's a temple, a gymnasium on the side of that. They don't want you to know that. So anyway, so here we go right here, what we just read. And when his rule appeared to Antiochus to be established, he conceived in the idea of being king over the land of Egypt, so that he might reign over 2 kingdoms. So he entered into Egypt with a strong force, with chariots and elephants and a cavalry and a great fleet, and he made war on Ptolemy. That's the king of the south right here. So you got these clowns going back to Daniel to chapter 11 about the king of the south in the future. Here go the king of the south right here, and he made war with Ptolemy. That's king of the south, right? King of Egypt. And Ptolemy turned and fled before him, and many fell wounded, and they captured the walled cities in the land of Egypt, and he plundered the land of Egypt. Now here you go. After subduing Egypt in the 143rd year, this is 3.5 years, Antiochus turned back, came up against Israel, entered into Jerusalem with a strong force, and in his arrogance, he went into the sanctuary, took the gold altar. See, this has been eliminated from history. This ain't Nebuchadnezzar. He took the gold, it says, and in his arrogance, he went into the sanctuary, took the gold altars, the lampstands for the light, all the furniture and the tables of presentation bread, cups, the bowls, and the gold censers, and the curtains and the crowns and all that. So where all this stuff come from? He gave it let's look at it right quick. Let's go to Ezra right quick. And we're gonna get back over here on Antioch Epiphany. This is for the people that don't know this. So I'm in Ezra. Sarah, I just read Cyrus came out and made a decree that's in Daniel 9:25. Then verse 5. Then Ezra 1 and verse 5, chapter 1, verse 5. Then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, with all them whose spirit God had raised, to go up to build the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem. So what we witnessing right here is the same thing I just showed you happening now. He raising certain people's spirit. He ain't raising all of them spirit. It says, then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, the priests and the Levites, with all them whose spirit that the Lord of hosts had raised. Same thing happening now. Follow the old paths. So 6, and all they that were about them strengthened their hands with vessels of silver. See that? And with gold and goods and with beasts, precious things, besides that which willingly offered. Also, look at this. Also Cyrus, king of Persia, brought forth the vessels of the house of the Lord, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and had put them in the house of his God. So that's how they got back. But they don't tell you all that. Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John don't tell you all this. So he gave all this stuff to Sheshbazzar in verse 8. Sheshbazzar is Zerubbabel. That's Zerubbabel's captive name. So he gave all them vessels that they had took and to him, the prince, this other prince. And he brought them back to Jerusalem. This is what Antioch Epiphanes and these Edomites is raiding right there. I just read. They're raiding that, getting it out of the temple. But all this been hid from the reader and from the Israelite till now. Okay. So anybody got anything else on Antioch Epiphanes, Antiochus?
Yeah.
What you got?
His sister is Cleopatra the First.
Right. Yeah. So what you have to understand about that is it's a bunch of Antioch Epiphanes, because he Antiochus the Epiphanes the fourth. It's a bunch of Cleopatras, and it's a bunch of Alexandrians.
Okay.
You have to understand that.
Okay.
Right. That's why when I was reading under him, it was saying that Antiochus' nephew was Ptolemy. Is it the 6th or the 4th?
Right. Yeah. It's a bunch of Ptolemies too.
Yeah.
Right. And but you got to go in there. And that's the reason I'm doing it. Yeah, you got to go in there to cipher and understand what's going on with that. So then, like I was saying before, that's how you can wrap your mind around it. Once you go back in the historical side of it and start doing that research, everything just start unfolding. Is that something? So I got some stuff right here. Let me share it with you. Okay. Okay. Right here. Ooh, I did it the wrong way. Let me go back. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's Antiochus Epiphanes. Who was he? Antiochus the Fourth. See, we just talked about that. Antiochus the Fourth. He the fourth. The king of the Seleucid Empire. What's the Seleucid Empire? Alexander Kingdom was divided in 4 different parts. Let's look at that, because it's a golden nugget in that. Let's look at it. So Daniel. I'm going to show you that it was the third beast. Israel was ran out of the land of Israel during the third beast, not the fourth beast. So that killed Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You can go read it if you want to. So in Daniel, right? Daniel chapter 7. No. Daniel chapter 8 says, so I'm starting at 8 and 15. He had a vision of a ram and a he-goat. Gabriel came to explain to him about this ram, which is the second beast. The ram and the he-goat. The ram and it was 2 horns is the second beast, and the he-goat is the Greeks, the third beast. So Gabriel picks it up, and let me get it. I'm torn out of this book. 1 minute. Daniel chapter 7. Chapter 8, verse 15. And it happened when Daniel had seen the vision and was seeking the meaning, and suddenly there stood before him one having the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uriah, which called and said to Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid. I fell upon my face. But he said to me, understand, son of man, that the vision refers to the time of the end. That's right there. What Antiochus Epiphanes did. He destroyed Israel at the end of the third beast, not in the fourth beast. So the time of the end is Israel as a nation going to come to end. That's what Antiochus Epiphanes did. 18. Now, as he was speaking with me, as I was in a deep sleep on my face to the ground, but he touched me and set me upright, and he said, look, I am making known to you what shall happen in the latter end of indignation. Indignation is the Most High's indignation with Israel, not the world. For at the appointed time, the Moab, the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of the Medes and Persians, second beast. And the male goat is the king of Greece. The large horn that is between his eyes is the first king, that's Alexander. And for the broken horn and the 4 that stood up in its place, 4 kingdoms shall arise out of that nation, but not in his own power. So Alexander died, and then he divided his kingdom up into 4 parts. Antiochus come out of the Seleucid kingdom. That's where he came from. So he's still dealing with the 4th beast. He just got divided up in the 4 parts. King of the north, king of the south, king of the east, and king of the west. So that's how you understand it. So the Israelites was ran out at the end of the 3rd beast, right before the Roman Empire came on the scene. They was ran out, and they was on the west coast of Africa. And Judah, Esau stole the land. That's them in the land over there in Galilee and all that. Them Edomites. And Herod built a temple. He picked the vision up. Let's look at that right quick. I'm gonna go back over here. This is for the people that's probably in shock, but I'm gonna show you anyway. So Daniel chapter 11, verse 14. And in those times, see that they reading Daniel chapter 11, these mega pastors and everybody, they reading that, they said futuristic when it already happened. Verse 14, Daniel 11 and 14. And in those times, there shall many stand up against the king of the south. That's Ptolemy. Also the robbers of thy people. See that there? So Esau had already stole the land. He in the land. So he says, the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish division, but they shall fall. They built a temple. Herod built a temple. So just like Solomon and Zerubbabel built a temple and failed, they was ran out in 143 BC. Edomites came in, stole the land, they built the temple, and their ring was ran out in 70 AD. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, when they was ran out, they went, look where they went. This the part, this is where the Most High making them look like fools at. Everybody know they went into Europe. So we know, and we know now, we done woke up, we know we was on the west coast of Africa. So that killed all that. That killed all that 70 AD garbage. Because when they left there, the synagogue of Satan, they went to Europe. Then Paul followed them. All four of Paul's journeys is in Europe. The Israelites on the west coast of Africa. So you gotta wrap all that up and throw it in the garbage can. And stop playing with it. Because it's garbage. Okay?
Yeah. Brother, also, didn't you have a city named after him?
Yeah, right. Antioch.
Antioch. That's a dead giveaway now.
Right. And we also got to add to that. They were first called Christians where?
Antioch.
Okay, there you go. Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's deep.
Oh yeah. You got. I mean, like I say, when it's hammer time, when the Most High bring it out, you know, people
Right.
they say they love the Most High and they didn't woke up, but when it comes on, you family with it. You know what I'm saying? It's here. It's hammer time.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, you found out just how much you love the Most High. Yeah. But anyway, anybody else got anything? I got this. I'm gonna read some more of this. So it says Antiochus the fourth, king of the Seleucid Empire. That's one of Alexander died. This is one of the men that it was divided up in, and this is where this wicked root out of Cain came from. Antiochus took upon himself the title Antiochus. So he says that this Antichrist go exalt himself. They're waiting on him to come, right? But let's look at this. Took upon himself the title Epiphanes, meaning the illustrious one, or God manifested. There you go, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Step up above everybody else. You know, Antichrist coming. So we get ready to leave. He says he was known as the Antiochus Epiphanes, and he reigned from 175 BC until 64 BC in what is now Syria. It says notice that Syria. Ain't that where the 10 tribes is at? Okay. He nearly conquered Egypt and was known for a severe persecution of the Israelites. This oppression led to the Maccabean revolt, these Edomites. In case you're wondering, Jews nicknamed him Epimanes, right, meaning madman, mad one, right? Maccabees conflict began when some of the Jews, the Hellenistic, integrated Greek culture and pagan practices into their community, right? So let's look at that. We're gonna go to something else. So it says, I'm just driving the nail in the coffin. That's all I'm doing. So it says the Maccabean conflict between when some of the Jews, Israelites, the Hellenistic integrated Greek culture and pagan practices. So they said these Maccabean between the Maccabean conflict, they integrated Hellenistic, which is Greek culture, and they integrated with the Israelite culture, right? That's what they were doing all during the time Esau was in the land, right? So let's look at it. I'm back over here in Daniel. Daniel chapter 8 says, verse 24, 23, and in the latter times of their kingdom, the Greek kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a king of fierce countenance, that's Antiochus Epiphanes, and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. His power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully. He shall practice. He shall prosper and practice. That's what we just read right here. He nearly conquered Egypt and was known for severe persecution of the Jews. This oppression led to the Maccabean revolt. His nickname was it means whatever it is, meaning mad one. The Maccabean conflict began with some of the Jews, the Hellenistic integrated Greek culture and pagan practices. There it is right there. See that? So we tell you right here. And through his policy, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully, shall prosper, practice, and shall destroy the holy people. So what he practiced, he started integrating from with our scriptures and our culture, and he integrated it into the Greek culture. It's right there. Like I say, I ain't writing none of this. I'm just breaking it down. So, okay, anybody else got anything? I got one more, a little video over here. Put in your ears, and then we're gonna. I got a couple more things, and we can get out of here. So here we go.
All right, so we're still in the midst of the Greek period, but we need to pause and take a look at Antiochus Epiphanes because he's super important for what follows. So again, we said in the last video that Antiochus IV, or Antiochus Epiphanes, becomes one of the greatest threats Israel has ever known. So what happened was, after he got out of Roman prison and he came back and he followed his father and became king of the Seleucids, the empire was weak, and so he sought to secure and unify the kingdom through strict Hellenization. And so he would call himself Epiphanes, which meant God revealed, but the people called him Epimanes, meaning madman, because Antiochus Epiphanes was intense and he was very crazy, but he was powerful and he was a threat. So even though the Seleucid kingdom, they finally have the victory over the Ptolemies that they have been fighting for decades to try and accomplish, the empire was nearly broke and they were threatened.
That's king of the south and the king of the north, right there. It's Daniel chapter 11. Okay.
Terribly by the growing threat that was the Roman Empire. So in order to try and unify and strengthen his kingdom, Antiochus robs temples for their treasures in order to sell them and to earn revenue for his fractured and weak empire. He also increased taxation on the people. Another thing he did was that he sold the office of the high priest, which was the most sacred office in Judaism, to the highest bidder. And this, of course, heavily angered the Jews. He also, through trying to strictly Hellenize Jerusalem, he tried to turn Jerusalem into a Greek city, including all kinds of things like Olympic Games. He tried to force Jewish youth to become Greek. So Alexander the Great's Hellenization was much lighter. It was more affirming, whereas Antiochus's Hellenization was much more assimilation. He was trying to rid the world of Judaism and force Jerusalem to become a Greek center. And what happens next is that after he stopped in Rome, he goes down. Remember, Alexandria is the center of the Ptolemaic Empire. Now that Antiochus IV is in charge, he tries to overtake Alexandria, which is now not really being controlled by the Ptolemies as much as it's being controlled by Rome. But he goes down there to try and overtake it, and he is stopped. He stopped shamefully, and what happens is he is forced to retreat back up through Jerusalem, through Israel, and he vents his anger on Jerusalem. And what I want to do is I want to read you a quote that comes from the Zondervan Bible Backgrounds commentary, because this just says it so well. So here's what happens. Antiochus was determined to make sure that Palestine was loyal to himself in order to act as a buffer state between himself and the Romans. Considering himself Zeus Epiphanes, he ordered a cultic Hellenization policy in Palestine. Antiochus sent his soldier Apollonius with 22,000 soldiers who came under the pretense of peace, and they attacked Jerusalem on the Sabbath, knowing that Orthodox Jews would not fight. And he killed many people. Women and children were taken as slaves.
So let's get it right. Ain't no Orthodox Jews there. Israelites. Orthodox Jews and all that garbage came later. These Israelites there. It's the third beast. This is how they getting over on us.
Hey, they wouldn't fight on the Sabbath. They wouldn't.
No. They figured that out. That's how they eventually had to start fighting them. But At first, this how wicked they are. They came there and disrespected Yahweh and everything. They found out they wouldn't fight on the Sabbath. But eventually they had to abandon that because they was getting wiped out.
And didn't he also have the Israelites stop circumcising the children?
Right. That's the Holy Covenant. That's why, like I said, to bring everything home. Why are we getting killed in the streets? Why are we getting killed everywhere? He said that if you didn't have the sign of the covenant on you, anything can happen. The World Trade Center might fall on you, and that's what we at today. He started it, causing us to not circumcise ourselves, be Hellenistic, Hellenized.
Right.
So that's why you seeing. That's why we falling like dogs and cats all over the place. We don't have the covenant on us. Sign of the covenant on us. Okay. Let me play the rest of this. Then we're gonna.
The city was plundered and burned. Shortly afterward, in 167, Antiochus determined to exterminate the Jewish religion by forbidding the people to live in accordance with their ancestral laws. He forbade the observance of the Sabbath, customary festivals, traditional sacrifices, and the circumcision of children.
You gotta let this ferment in your head, because you're here tonight and then you go back off doing something else tomorrow. But you gotta let this ferment, marinate.
And to eat human flesh. Anyone who disobeyed any of these orders was sentenced to death. The climactic, infamous deed, though, was on December 16th, or Kislev, as they would call it, 16th, 167, when the temple in Jerusalem, as well as the Samaritan temple at Mount Gerizim, became the place of worship for the Olympian Zeus.
What you just see.
Offering swine's flesh on the altar of Zeus, which was erected on the altar of a burnt offering. All of this, though, was a big mistake on Antiochus's part. He wanted to consolidate his empire around the Hellenic culture and religion.
Yes, so like I said before, Antichrist already came. That's what so many Israelites all feel. Just like we at the end of the captivity. Jacob trouble ain't finna come. We at the end of Jacob trouble. Jacob trouble almost over with. That's why we seen all the events that's going on in the world. Antichrist coming in, and we at the end of Jacob trouble. We getting ready to be delivered. And they got us off doing something else when we ought to be, like I said, we should be. Oh, let me give you right here. I'm gonna give it to you right quick. Here you go. You ought to be getting your gunner bag.
Okay.
They got us off waiting on the Antichrist and Jacob trouble. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. So, any question or comment?
He was brutal. He came in and turned it upside down. And so it didn't matter. Men, women, children. He was brutal.
Oh yeah. Right. Exactly.
And when he went into the temple, he was arrogant about it.
Exactly. Right.
Oh
yeah. Like I said, he ain't acting like that on. He not acting like that on GP. When you follow the DNA, that's Cain descendants. See, the Greeks is Cain descendants. Japheth ain't nothing Noah's son. That's what I keep on screaming. It's Cain descendants. Japheth the one raped Noah's wife. That's how he got Canaan. When he got off the boat, he picked right back up what they was doing before the flood. When he got off of the boat, the Most High told him to go get a male and a female from all flesh. That means he had to go get a male and a female from Cain's descendants. And he put them on the boat. As soon as they got off the boat, he raped Noah's wife. When Noah woke up, he saw what he had done. And cursed the baby that was in the womb, Canaan. Yeah. Like I said, how is Cain so wicked? Because who his father is. Why Antioch Epiphany is wicked.
Yeah. Did Michael kill him?
Huh?
Did Michael kill him?
Yeah, he killed him over in let me read that right quick. Like I said, some people probably ain't never heard this. It's in yeah. You know, Apocrypha.
He was the beast. Man.
Oh yeah, yeah, he was a beast. You know, but like I said, it's gotta you know, somebody have to break that down for you. You know, where's Maccabees? Let me find it. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm out to.
Because Daniel has said he's gonna be broken without
Yeah,
hands.
just without hands. He's gonna stand up against the Prince of Princes and be broken without hands. That was Prince of Princes, Lord of Hosts, Mike.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's eluding me, man. I'm about to. I'm gonna have it tomorrow. And I'll read it for everybody. So anyway, everybody good on that? Anybody else got any more questions?
No, thank you for having us do our research on that.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
right.
now I truly understand it.
Okay, right. Yeah, it's all history. The Old Testament Tanakh ain't nothing but history. It's a history book. It's just they didn't try to separate the from the history they got and but they all history go together. You just gotta go over there and get in there and get the else, and find out what's going on with them. Yeah, like I said before, people sound like act as if they ain't hear it, but you got from day one, everybody on the line and everybody know about JC. It's 18 missing years. He got 18 missing years out of his life from 12 to 30. So Caesarion, his mama Cleopatra, Augustus Caesar came to kill Caesarion at 12 years old. She sent him away. I told you, Alexander came making homosexual cities. Alexander, he got Alexander cities all over the place. But Cleopatra knew he had an Alexander up in the mountains, in the Himalaya mountains. So she sent him up there. Up there is a monastery. Monks live up there. So she sent him up there. That's where he was at for 18 years. Caesarion. So he came back. She had a daughter and a son and a daughter that was twins and another son. And they was living in Jerusalem when he came back at 30 years old. Thomas, one of them. So Caesarion came back to find out where his brothers and sisters was at. But he ain't like his daddy. He been raised by these monks. They know how to heal. So when they came back, they found out he had Julius Caesar blood in him. That's where all the crowds came from. But he ain't talking like no soldier, because he was disconnected from that because these monks raised him, told him how to do all the meditate and all that stuff. And then when they killed him, that's when the religion started. They used scriptures and all that and tied him into the scriptures. That's how you get the New Testament. So, but like I said, you gotta let that ferment, because it ain't gonna just jump in your head the first time you hear it. You gotta let it ferment, and then you gotta go do the research. And the research gonna beat you up. That's how it go. So yeah, let me I got these two things right here I want to show y'all. I missed it out of showing you the other day, so I'm gonna show you today. Okay, here we go. Yeah, both of these go together, right? So I'm gonna show you some first. Okay, let's see what we do. Okay. Here you go. It's a Shiloh right here.
Hebrew 5 started here. Shiloh. Hammer time. Same for everybody. Hebrew Israelites.
Somebody got to do it.
Started here. Shiloh. Hear me? Hebrew.
Come in that fire, ain't it?
That fire is burning.
Now but time.
So,
It reminds me of the consuming fire.
Like this song?
shalom.
Okay. Now, check this out. Tell me if this ain't awesome. Okay. Now, I'm just doing what the Most High told me. That's all I'm doing. I don't know what he's going to do. Oh, I don't know what he's going to do that's connected to it. So, I'm finding out, though. Okay. There we go. I just found this out today. Yeah, these brothers right here. Just I'm gonna let you listen to a little bit of it. But if you want to find out some more about them and watch these videos, they got this. Let me see how they go. Talk real to us at gmail.com. You can see their video. Just play a little bit of it.
That's what's up, y'all. What it do? Hey, we was plugging yesterday. It's Friday. What's today's date? 27th, 28th, 23rd. Damn, I'm way off. We on our way to those now. Yeah. Friday, July the 23rd, 2021. I'm time stamping this shit. So yesterday we was going, because it's a doctrine out there for all you vegans. Shout out to my vegan brothers and sisters. There's a doctrine out there that if you eat meat, that you are in sin, that you are in blood lust and blood covenant with death, that, all kind of goofy ass shit. And we got to come against the shit. Hey, shout out to the brothers that are teaching that shit. Y'all motherfuckers is off. We still love you. Hopefully y'all can correct this shit, because they did a video yesterday. We're going to play a little bit of it. It's one of the many brothers that are on the you can't eat meat, that's just sin bullshit.
Let me speed it up.
On the motherfucking shit, and you come and making this shit into doctrine.
Yeah. So anyway,
Wow.
what's going on with these dudes is they preparing. They building. They it's like they coming together, and they building up little communities to protect themselves, because they feel like something getting ready to happen. So many words, they building these little Shilohs all over the place. That's what they're doing. You see they kind of rough around the edges though. But anyway, so I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So
that's Judah, and
building these little communities.
Yeah, they used to be with IUIC.
Right.
Yeah, I know them brothers.
Right. I was like, wow, when I saw that. So, but this not even really the video, but if you just go to, like I said, talk real to us at gmail.com, you can see their videos. Yeah. I thought it tripped me out because I wasn't ready for that one. So anyway, so anybody else got anything else before we go? Everybody good?
All
Yes.
good.
Okay. Okay. Dalton. Okay. Let me get this right quick.
The Jewish religious eccentricities.
So y'all learn anything tonight?
I did.
Great class.
Learned a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch the class again.
Okay. Okay. Let me get this right quick. Shalom.
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 See y'all in the morning at 9
See you in the
o'clock.
morning.
Okay.
Yes.